Tensions between world superpowers, the U.S. and China, have flared up with the landing of U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi in Taiwan yesterday evening. The U.S. House Speaker is the second highest profile elected U.S. official to land in Taiwan in the past 25 years, as China has reiterated that Pelosi's visit in Taiwan is a major threat and provocation in the region. China considers Taiwan as its territory and has been saying that it can go all out to seize the land if need be. Good morning, I'm Abheudaya Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. The Naranghat-Mugling section of the highway that had come into operation for about 5 hours yesterday disrupted since wee hours this morning as landslide strikes again. In the absence of effective regulation, corporatives are facing challenges in operation, putting the deposits at risk. The trend of depositors being duped by cooperatives on the rise. China condemns the visit by U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to Taiwan as extremely dangerous, warning that the trip is a threat to stability in the region. And it's India against Bangladesh in the SAF Under-20 title clash as Nepal settled for a draw against Bangladesh. Coach Casey says Indian drubbing impacted Nepal's performance in the crucial tie. The Naranghat-Mugling section of the highway that had come into operation for about 5 hours yesterday has been disrupted since early morning today. The District Administration Office Chitwan informed that Bharatpur 29 at Maurikhola, where landslide struck on Monday night, saw a repeat of a similar landslide havoc last night, which has led to the disruption of the highway yet again. District Police Office spokesperson Narahari Adhikari informed that landslide debris laden with mud water had struck the area, which disrupted the highway completely around 2:30 a.m. this morning. Adhikari also informed that a mini truck with Indian number plate was trapped in the flooded mud waters. The people from the truck have been rescued and efforts were underway to clear the debris. The two-way traffic was only operational from 9:30 p.m. last night after the highway was disrupted on Monday night around 11 p.m. when the landslide had struck the area. Hundreds of vehicles are stranded on the highway since wee hours this morning. Transport has been obstructed at more than 50 places of 3 major national highways due to water-induced disasters caused by incessant rainfall. The Naranghat-Mugling road section, which links Kathmandu with other cities, has been obstructed at several places. Landslides have also been obstructing the Nobise-Mugling Pokhara road sections. Director General of the Department of Roads, Arjun Jung Thapa, has said that continuous landslides have complicated resumption of the road sections. A total of 12 highways are currently operating one way. A landslide triggered by incessant rainfall has buried a house in Pasthar's Yang Warak rural municipality, while 2 other houses are at risk. The landslide buried the house of Harkajang Mao in Sigewa, Yang Warak 4, while the houses of Dayaram Pokhrel and Shyam Mao are at risk of being swept away by the landslide. Meanwhile, a landslide has damaged the house of Mukti Jawego in Yangnam of Fidim Municipality 10. Likewise, the Dharan Mulghat Fidim road section under the Tamur corridor has been obstructed due to landslides at various places. The government seems to have failed in the implementation of more than half of the decisions taken by parliamentary committees during its 5-year tenure. The government's role has been ineffective in ensuring the implementation of the decisions taken by these committees. Experts have opined the government has failed at maintaining good governance that it committed to the public during the elections. We have more in this report.
The first meeting of the Development and Technology Committee of the House of Representatives was held on the 21st of July 2018. The committee in its first year handed out 5 dozen directives to the government while making 180 decisions. The committee had directed the government to address the issues seen in the National Pride projects by forming a specific mechanism, categorize programs for federal, provincial and local governments, prepare the detailed project report for mega and smart city projects, relocate flood-affected communities and find a sustainable solution to waste management. However, the directives have been limited to papers. Likewise, in April of 2020, the Parliament's State Affairs and International Relations Committee had directed the government to remove the Indian security officials and maintain its political and administrative presence at the bordering regions of Lipulekh, Limpiadhura and Kalapani. However, concrete actions on behalf of the government is still due. The committee had also directed the government to issue the Federal Civil Service Act to address issues seen in the bureaucracy. However, the government instead withdrew the bill proposed for the same. The Finance Committee has time and again directed the government to formulate concrete plans to improve its expenditures, but the government has yet to take any actions regarding the same. Dozen other directives issued by the Agriculture, Education, Law and Women Committees, among others, have yet to be implemented. In the given scenario, experts have also highlighted the lack of monitoring on part of the respective committees as the reason for the government's indifference. So far, the government has implemented only 20% of the Parliament's directives. No actions have been taken on 60% of them, while the remaining directives are yet to be accepted.
In the absence of effective regulation, cooperatives are facing challenges in operation, putting the deposits of savers at risk. Efforts to pay back the depositors by selling the assets of the cooperatives and collecting the loans have also failed so far. The management committees of cooperatives have not been successful in ensuring efficient operation and return of the deposits. Around 5,000 depositors are now in fear of losing their money as promoter of Gautam Sri Multipurpose Cooperative Limited, Ram Bahadur Gautam, is out of contact. This cooperative is yet to return 7 billion rupees to its depositors. More than 1,145 depositors have filed applications at the Department of Cooperatives demanding the return of their deposits. The number of depositors being duped has been increasing because of the government delay in monitoring and regulating the cooperatives. This is not the first time where depositors have been cheated. More than 16.1 billion rupees of depositors has yet to be cleared after Oriental cooperatives operated by Sudhir Basnet went bankrupt around 3 years ago. The government has identified 12 cooperatives as crisis-ridden so far and had formed a management committee 5 years ago to return the amount of the depositors. The committee currently shoulders the responsibility of returning around 1.92 billion rupees of the depositors of 11 cooperatives. Of the total amount, it has returned only 90 million rupees so far. All three tiers of the government have failed in ensuring effective regulation and monitoring of the cooperatives. The Department of Cooperatives regulates 148 cooperatives operating in more than 2 provinces. Gautam Cooperatives is one of these cooperatives. However, the depositors are at the risk of being duped because of the inefficiency of the department in regulating responsibility. All the members of the cooperatives must be aware about the status of deposits and loans of the cooperatives. But at a time when wrong intentions and high influence from the promoters and operators are increasing in cooperatives, the campaigners of the sector have also grown irresponsible in addressing these issues. In addition to the failure of the regulating authority, the depositors are also responsible for the problems facing the sector as they deposit their amount in cooperatives with the expectation of higher interest rates. However, the failure of the government departments in ensuring formulation of strong laws with adequate regulating and monitoring to curb such financial crimes has led to the depositors being duped as their hard-earned money is put to peril. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here's the question. Why have actions not been taken against cooperatives duping the depositors? Your options are A, absence of clear laws, B, high influence of operators, and C, consequence of collusion. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. It's time now for the sports news.
Sports news.
Nepal came back from behind to settle for a 1-all draw in a must-win match against Bangladesh at the SAF Under-20 Championship yesterday. In another match, India produced a narrow 1-0 win over the Maldives. In the intense match played in Bhubaneswar, India, Bangladesh were put ahead by Nova in the 64th minute before Niranjan Malla leveled for Nepal with a brilliant effort from outside the area 4 minutes later. The match was heated up for a moment as the referee pulled out 3 red cards, of which 2 were against Nepali players. On-field players Shaidul Islam and Dipesh Gurung were sent their marching orders, while Rohit Subba from Nepal's bench was shown a straight red. Prior to this, Nepal had suffered a humiliating 8-0 loss to India on Sunday. Nepal had won the opening match against the Maldives 4-0 and blanked Sri Lanka 3-0. The draw also secures a spot in the tournament final for Bangladesh. Nepal coach Meghraj Kesi, after the match, said that Nepal had failed to recover after the drubbing they received at the hands of India. This, according to Kesi, affected the overall play of his boys. In another match of the tournament, India blanked Maldives 1-0. When it all looked like the Maldives would earn a draw, India scored in the dying moments of the match to seal a victory. Gurkit Singh scored in the 89th minute to register full points for India. With this, India and Bangladesh have set up the title clash of the SAF Under-20 Championship on Friday. Prize and awards motivate the athletes. They are also considered the major source of income for athletes. In Nepal, athletes barely receive their remuneration. Even in such a situation, prize money and awards are not given to the athletes on time. The All Nepal Football Association is yet to distribute the prize money it had announced 5 years ago. Prize money and awards do justice on the intent of rewards and motivate the athletes only if they are given on time. However, Nepali football players who have won different tournaments for the country have not received the cash prize announced by ANFA for the past 5 years. Members of Team Nepal, who lifted the SAF Under-19 tournament held in Bhutan in 2017, have yet to receive the 200,000 rupees for each player announced by ANFA. Back then, Narendra Shrestha was the ANFA president. The ANFA has already seen 2 presidents since Shrestha's term. Despite the several players of that squad now featuring for the senior team, they are yet to receive the promised cash prize. Team Nepal had also won gold after defeating Bhutan in the grand finale of the 13th South Asian Games held at home in 2019. ANFA had announced 500,000 rupees in cash prize for the members of the winning team. The National Football Governing Body had also announced cash prize for the team which lifted the Three Nations Cup held last year. The runners-up of the SAF Women's Championship held in Biratnagar in 2019 were also assured 100,000 rupees in cash prize, but even the Nepali Eves have yet to receive their check. Such delay from the apex football authority of the country in delivering their assurances not only creates a sour feeling among the players, it also affects their motivation and performance. Players and analysts have also questioned the ANFA about announcing prizes if it cannot distribute them at all. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked people what do they term the trend of ANFA failing to distribute prize money on time. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
खेलाडीहरुको मनोबल गिर्छ अनि त्यही कारणले गर्दाखेरि हाम्रो देशमा एउटा राम्रो खेलाडी उत्पादन हुनै सक्दैन।
घोषणा गरिसकेपछि खेलाडीलाई त्यो नदिने भनेको त खेलाडीलाई पछि पार्ने हो नि त।
पुरस्कार अथवा उसको रकम समयमै पाए भने जन खेलाडीहरुको मनोबल अझै बढ्छ।
यो चाहिँ व्यवस्थापनको नालायकपन,
खेलकुद नबुझेको व्यक्तिहरु चाहिँ धेरै चाहिँ खेलकुद भित्र भएको हुनाले चाहिँ यस्तो भएको हो।
That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.